Welcome back to Aligned and Abundant. Today, we're going deep. We're talking about one of the biggest questions humans have ever asked. Why do bad things happen? Why suffering? Why loss? Why betrayal? Why illness? Why the moments that crack us open in ways we never would have chosen? And we're going to explore this through two lenses, the Kabbalistic view and the idea of soul contracts. And then I'm going to give you a metaphor that has changed the way I see everything. In Kabbalah, there's an idea that before this physical world existed, there was only divine light, infinite, whole, and unified. But pure endless light has no contrast, no experience, no differentiation. So, according to mystical teaching, the light had to contract. This is called Tzimtzum, creating space for something else to exist. Creation happens through concealment. And then there's another teaching. The vessels that were meant to hold the divine light shattered. This is known as the breaking of the vessels. The light was too much for them. And so fragments of divine light scattered throughout existence, hidden inside what appears broken. That means this world, including pain, includes sparks of hidden light. Not punishment, not randomness, not cruelty, but concealment. From this lens, quote-unquote, bad things aren't proof that God left. They're places where light is hidden, and our work to reveal it. This is called Tikun, or repair. And it's not fixing something broken as much as remembering what it truly is. Another concept that I have touched upon on this podcast is the concept of a soul contract, the curriculum you agreed to. Now, let's zoom out. The idea of a soul contract says that before incarnating, your soul chose certain themes, certain challenges, certain relationships, certain turning points, not because your soul wanted to suffer, but because it wanted to evolve. If we use the metaphor of a school, you don't enter kindergarten and say, I'd like to skip reading and go straight to advanced philosophy. You progress. Each grade builds on the last. Some classes are easy, some stretch you, some feel a bit unfair, but they all belong to the same curriculum. Now, imagine if your soul, before coming here, reviewed a course catalog, and this was the big idea that I had. If each of our lives represents a class, then we would have this course catalog to look at, and we would choose what we wanted to experience over the lifespan of many lives. I'm assuming you're getting that I do believe in reincarnation. So imagine you're looking at this course catalog and there's patience 201, boundaries 305, grief and love 410, self-trust practicum, a power and responsibility seminar. And your soul said, yes, I'll take those. Not because it's a martyr, but because it wants mastery. And from that perspective, what we call bad might be a required course. It's not eternal. It's not your whole identity. It's just one class in a long academic career. I was thinking about this the other day when I was just reflecting about life in general, and I had seen somewhere in one of the communities that I'm in, why do bad things happen? And it really sparked this train of thought. And it got me to thinking that our lives are like courses. And I thought, kindergarten through college and beyond, when we choose those classes, It's like choosing our soul's curriculum. And if you think back to your education, a lot of those courses weren't necessarily optional. We had to experience all of it in order to become a full, rounded student. And so I wanted to share this concept with you. But I'm also learning about Kabbalah, and I thought, well, let's just look at it through both lenses. So back to where I was. I think of this lifetime like one semester. Kindergarten is innocence, middle school is the identity formation, high school is ego and comparison, and college is the individuation and sovereignty. And then graduation. But here's the mystical twist. Graduation doesn't mean the end of existence. It means integration. Your soul carries the entire curriculum under its belt. All the courses, all the credits, all of the wisdom. And maybe it comes back for another specialization. Or maybe it moves into another dimension of learning. But because consciousness doesn't stop evolving, neither does your soul. The other lens that I want to tap into is experiencing God through this consciousness. If we are sparks of divine consciousness, then God is not outside of experience. God is experiencing through us. Every invention, every heartbreak, every technological advancement, and every new emotion that humans learn to articulate. And as reality expands, so does this range of experience. When there were no airplanes, God did not know what it felt like to take flight in a metal body across the sky. When there were no smartphones, there was no experience of digital connection across continents in seconds. And when you fall in love in 2026, that exact texture of love has never existed before in the entire history of the cosmos. And this is why consciousness will continue to evolve through expression. It also means that life will continue because there is always more to experience, more refinement, more nuance, more awareness. And not because something went wrong, but because infinity explores itself through contrast. So back to the original thought of why do bad things happen? Because honestly, this used to keep me up at night, and it kind of still does. Which is why I really wanted to go a little bit deeper with this. So, from these different lenses, they are places where light is hidden, courses in the curriculum we signed up for, contracts for growth, expansion of consciousness, or opportunities for revelation. And that does not mean that we get to bypass grief. It does not mean we spiritually gaslight ourselves. Kindergartners still cry on the first day of school. High schoolers still panic before big exams. And college students still feel super overwhelmed. The emotion is real, but the context changes everything. You are not being punished. We are not being punished. We are progressing on a soul level. And with that, it doesn't mean that life is easy, but it means that when we pan out and look at the bigger picture and look at it as this life could just be a small sampling of our curriculum that our soul is experiencing, I want to invite you into asking yourself a few questions. What class is this? What is this teaching me? Where might the hidden light be? And if this is a soul contract, what mastery is my soul working toward? Because if life is school, you are not failing. You are learning. And one day, when you look back at the entire curriculum, which I believe we do, you will see how perfectly it was designed. For example, have you ever gone through an experience and while in the mix of it, it all felt so heavy, so overwhelming, or unbearable, and you wondered if it would ever stop? But then time passed, well, the concept of time, and you looked back and reflected and were so grateful of everything that you had gone through because it made you who you were now. You learned lessons that you can now utilize. You changed in a way for the better. Those are the kind of thoughts that I have, and I encourage you to think about as well. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are to this conversation. You can send me a DM on Instagram at christine.marcario.coach or hit me up in my inbox via the show notes. And because we're all on our own learning journeys, I just want to say that I am so thankful that our paths have crossed. We are on this journey together, and I am so grateful for that. Thank you so much for listening in. If this episode expanded something inside of you or made you think a little bit deeper, I would love for you to take a moment to rate and review this podcast. It helps this message reach more souls like me and you who are walking their own curriculum right now. And if you want deeper teachings like this, join my free newsletter. The link is in the show notes. We are here to remember. We are here to reveal light. And we are here to graduate with wisdom. I'll see you next week. Lots of love and light.
If you've been feeling the pull for deeper transformation, real, lasting change that starts from within, I'd love to invite you into transformational one-on-one coaching with me. This is where alignment becomes your new normal. You'll get 4 90-minute sessions at an introductory offer of $600, designed to help you release what's holding you back, reconnect with your truth, and step into the next version of yourself, fully and unapologetically. You can book your sessions through the link in my bio. Just tap my link tree to get started. Your next breakthrough is closer than you think, and I'd love to be a part of your journey.